So very good morning students, welcome back to second year physics. So in the previous class, actually we finished about a chapter that is related to electromagnetic waves, and the new chapter, now I am continue the dual nature of radiation and matter. The chapter name it is, actually from this chapter usually in the previous examination, once you check the previous examination question papers, in that question papers from this chapter they are asking usually two very short answers. So that this year also mostly they will ask you two very short answers only. But what is mean by dual nature, and what is the radiation and matter? See, I want to tell you one thing. Radiation. So the radiation is undercomes a electromagnetic wave. That means here sun emitting a light. So light actually itself it behave like a wave, and when light is interacted with the matters or interacted with the particles, therefore that particle also behave like a wave, and the wave behave like a particle nature. It possesses a particle nature because the light is interacting with the matter. So when it is interacted with the matter, therefore light is behave like a wave, and when it is interacted with the matter, therefore it behave like a matter. That's what universe is consist of a both matter and radiation, and usually nature loves a radiation. And come to the point is, when there is a particles itself it behave like a particle nature, and when it is interacted with the light, therefore that behave like a wave. That means here usually light we know, for a light wavelength we know, or we can say electromagnet. Light is undercomes a electromagnetic wave, right? Light undercomes EMW, right? See, for this wavelength the range is 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. When there is a wavelength is there, no, that's what we can call it is a wave. Like here, this light is a velocity we know 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, of course, velocity of a light. And the wavelength range of electromagnetic wave is 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. Like wavelength for the light, it has some wavelength. Like particles also, suppose the particles you take electron, proton, neutron and etc. If these particles, suppose if they have some wavelength, then we can say the particle also behave like a wave. And here we know about a light. Light is obeys some properties. There are 7 to 8 properties are there, like rectilinear propagation, like reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarization, Compton effect, and de Broglie wavelengths. So these all related to properties of a light. Light must be obeys these properties. Of course, if light is obeying, if you take a one particle also, suppose if it is obeys these properties, like the particle is interfere, if the particle is refracted, or the particle is reflection, refraction, polarized, if anyone, if it is to be obeys, then we can say particle also have wavelength, or the matter also have wavelength. So like this is the conclusion related to the dual nature and radiation of matter. Matter is nothing but it is the particles. Radiation is nothing but a light, because the universe is consist of both light and matter. Now come to the point. So before going to complete into the chapter, here in this chapter, first one we should know about a discovery of a cathode ray. See that we can say cathode rays, or we can also call electron emission. Actually, this experiment is conducted by the J.J. Thomson. This experiment is related to the J.J. Thomson. Actually, he used one discharged tube. Here a discharged tube is nothing but inside the tube, completely pressure is to be decreased. Pressure is to be decreased in the order of 0.01 mm of Hg. From the tube, it is a tube. See, inside the tube, the pressure is to be completely evacuated by using a vacuum pumps. That tube we can call as the discharge tube. Let us draw a one tube. Yes, of course. one tube, it is an empty tube, and both the ends there are two electrodes are placed. One it is we can say cathode and one we can say anode. That means cathode is nothing but a negatively charged plate, anode is nothing but a we can say positively charged plate, which are placed inside the tube. And this tube is completely empty, or we can say pressure is decreased 0.01 mm of Hg. It is the pressure reduced to the completely 0.01 mm of Hg. Now let us, there will be high potential differences applied between the electric and cathode and anode. Approximately you take as 20,000 volt is applied between the cathode and anode. Therefore, there will be invisible particles are flow from cathode to anode. We cannot see. Some flow is there. See, how can we say the flow? See that here after the anode there is a one fluorescent screen is there, that is ZnSO4. Fluorescent is nothing but a what? When there is a on the screen, if particles are incident, therefore that gives some light, or it is gives some peaks like stars. Star also giving some light, no, like a peaks. Like in the same way, when a light is incident on the fluorescent screen, therefore that screen is emits the light. So that here after the anode he used a one fluorescent screen. When there is a invisible particle flowing towards the anode, that means here the particles are flowing from cathode to anode, and when it is incident on the fluorescent screen, therefore the fluorescent screen is glows, or it is giving us some energy, light energy. Nothing but some invisible particles are traveling from cathode to anode. That cathode to anode flow, no, we can say cathode is nothing but a negative, anode is nothing but a positive. So that electrons are negatively charged particles are flowing from cathode to anode. That are the invisible particles. And here this are nothing but a what we can say, the ray we can call as a cathode ray stream, or we can also call electron emission, because electrons are negatively charged. Usually electrons are attracted towards the positively charged plate. So cathode rays also flowing from cathode to anode, no? That mean here that electron or a cathode ray which are invisible and which flowing towards the anode, because it is traveling or propagating towards the anode plate. Nothing but it is attracting the positively charged plate. So that this we can call as the emission of electrons. There it is to be invisible particle. And after that there is another experiment also conducted by the J.J. Thomson only, and also he determined the specific charge of an electron. Of course, E by m it is. E by m, the specific charge of an electron. So we know charge of electron and we know mass of electron. So suppose you substitute, there we may get the specific charge of an electron by using this experiment. This is the cathode ray emission. This is the experiment is cathode ray emission. Clear? Now, come to the point. See, I want to say there is an important information is there in this chapter about a photon. Sir, what is mean by photon? See, I want to say one thing. Photon is nothing but it's not a particle. First point, it's not a particle. It is just a bundle of energy, and it is neutral. That means here, this photon of energy cannot be deflected in both electric and magnetic fields. If it is particle, yes, we can say it may be deflected, either a positive plate or towards a negative, or in the magnetic field also it may be deflected. That's what here, photon is nothing but it is we can call as a bundle of energy. It is a one energy. It is an energy, photon. It is in the form of a packets, energy packets. So that the photon is nothing but it's not a material particle. And you remember there will be a formula is there for this photon of energy. I'll show you that, and I'll write it expression for this. So there will be a photon of energy we can take. E is equal to h nu it is. This is the h is nothing but we can call as the Planck's constant. Of course, everyone know about a Planck's constant. It is 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule seconds. Of course, it is in joule seconds. I am giving Suppose I want to say in terms of electron volts, so H is equal to 4.14 into 10 power 15 it is, minus 15 electron volt seconds. See, H we have two values, electron volt second is 1 and here another one joule second is 1, and of course nu is nothing but a frequency. Here it is, you write as frequency, yes. So frequency it is in terms of, we can measure in Hertz or we can measure in CPS, cycles per second. See, it is a photon, it's nothing but energy, it is a form of energy. So that E is equal to H nu. So now here you write from here, photon of energy H nu, C by lambda, because nu we can write as C by lambda. Of course, C we know, 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, right? Is it okay now? Now you write as this values, E is equal to H 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 into C value 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, and lambda in angstroms. Lambda must be in angstroms, that lambda into 10 power minus 10, it is in angstroms, into, now I am writing in electron volt, energy in terms of electron volt, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, it is in a form of electron volt, not in joules. I am not saying in joules. So suppose you write this all and you simplify this, we may get, it is 12,400 lambda in angstroms into electron volt. This is the value of this one. Simple. Suppose you are getting the problem on this basis, then you directly you take 12,400 by lambda in angstroms in electron volt it is, because we are multiplying, dividing with 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, no. So ultimately this will come in the electron volt only. This is about a photon of energy. Try to understand photon of energy. See, the photon of energy is nothing but a, you say, remember, rest mass of photon of energy. Rest mass of photon is equal to 0. Rest mass of a photon is 0. And one more point I want to say, suppose it is having a mass when it is moved with a velocity of light. See, if it is having a mass, rest mass is 0. But now I am saying when it is having a mass, suppose this is having a mass, so that the photon of energy move with the velocity equal to velocity of a light. So E is equal to, E is equal to mc square, of course. So here it is, we need to write a mass now. Mass is equal to E by c square. What is E here? Or else you write this one also. Mass is equal to hc by lambda into c square. When it is having a mass, therefore that may move with velocity equal to light. Then mass is equal to h by lambda c. Mass is equal to h by lambda c. See, this information related to photon of energy, and photons are electrically neutral. That's what it is. We can say these photons cannot be deflected, both electric and magnetic fields. This cannot be deflected. Now come to the point. See, in any problems, you take directly this one, E is equal to 12,400 by lambda in electron volt, or E is equal to h nu also we can. This is about a related to photons. Photon is nothing but it is a bundle of energy. It's not in a material particle, and here it is in the form of a packets, energy packets we can call, right? This is actually on the basis of quantum theory. See, we are saying about on the basis of quantum theory only. So the quantum theory, it is in the form of a packets. Energy, it is in the form of a packets. Now come to the point. Another one I want to say about a power. Power, yes, is nothing but we can say work done by time, or else we can say E by T also we can. See, E is nothing but what it is? E is nothing but a h nu, of course. So simply here you write power is equal to h nu by T. Suppose that there will be a number of photons. There is a number of photons are incident on the surfaces, so that you write as P is equal to n h nu by T. This n by T is nothing but a number of photons emitted per second. We can say like, so that here n by T is equal to P by h nu, of course. You want to say h nu, we know 12,400 also we can. Sometimes we may use directly 12,400 also. It is related to what we can say about a photon, right? And here I want to say about the intensity of a radiation. Yes, another one, intensity of radiation, intensity of a radiation. So that here intensity is nothing but we can say power per unit area. Simple. Intensity in the sense is power per unit area. So power per unit area is nothing but we can also write as power is, we know it is directly E by T, then you write E by A into T. So this is intensity, or else I is equal to H nu by A into T also we can. So this all information related to the photons. See, photon is nothing but it is a bundle of energy, and it's not in a material particle, and it is in the form of a packets and energies. So this is about a related to the photons. Clear? So if you know this, then we can do better in this chapter, because dual nature of a light, no. So in this dual nature of a light, so we need this all which are very, very important, right? Now let I want to explain you about a based on the photons, and I'll explain you about a photoelectric effect. Side heading it is, we can take as the side heading is photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Sir, what is photoelectric effect? Simple. See, when there is a sufficient energy incident, on the metal surfaces, so sufficient energy means what? See, each and every metals, in general, metals are having a free electrons. So in the valency band, there will be a free electrons are available. So that there must be energy required to liberate that electron from the valency band. So each and every metals, say suppose I want to take some copper, I want to take. Say suppose if I take a copper, there must be energy required. How much energy required? Yes, there must be some light energy required to liberate the electron. If I go for the zinc, if I go for the aluminum, if I go another one. So each and every metals, each and every photosensitive plates, there is an energy required to liberate the electron. Liberating electron is nothing but a photoelectron. The phenomena undercomes a photoelectric effect. Suppose you take there is a one metal plate, so which is having a free electrons. There it is to be sufficient energy incident. You say sufficient energy is to be incident. E is equal to H nu. Then therefore what happens from this? Due to this energy, the electron is liberated. Liberated electron we can call as photoelectron. See, a liberated electron, photoelectron, after liberating, of course, it is come out from the surface, from the photosensitive plate. So the phenomena we can call as a photoelectric effect. This is what I mean to say photoelectric effect. See, there must be a sufficient energy required. What I mean to say, there must be some sufficient energy required, so that because of the sufficient energy only electrons are liberated. So this is about a photoelectric effect. Now come to the point. See, in this photoelectric effect, there will be some working style is there, that is explained by the Lenard explanation of photoelectric effect. Lenard, you write as L-E-A-N-R-D, Lenard experiment. It is a Lenard because he is explained about a photoelectric effect. Again, he used a one like a discharged tube, which is to be evacuated completely, used as, there will be a one window is provided, and there is a one photosensitive metal plate, cathode, another one we can say anode, and these two are connected. Of course, I want to say see, there will be a microammeter is to be connected to the anode to measure the current, and as well as there will be a voltmeter to measure the potential difference also, and these two terminals are connected to the opposite terminal of a battery along with a rheostat. You remember, along with a rheostat it is to be connected. You take Clear? This is a rheostat, and there it is to be metal is connected, I mean battery is connected like this. Opposite terminal, it is positive, no? Better you take as positive, and it is you take as a negative. So this is the battery, and this is to be connected like this. And in this situation, I want to say one thing. So this is a photosensitive plate, that means that is a metal. Usually metals are having a free electrons. See, without the presence of this anode potential, this is we can call anode potential. We are not at all applied this potential. We are not at all taking this potential. Just you see, when there is a, here by using this window, right, there will be a window, and from this window sufficient energy is to be incident on the metal surface. E is equal to, you say, h nu energy is incident on the metal surface. From this metal surface, electrons are liberated. Liberated electron which moves towards the anode, of course, because in the cathode ray emission already we said this one. So we discussed also. So that electron flow reaches to the anode. Ultimately this microammeter shows us some reading, because the electrons are reaching, photoelectrons are reaching, because from the metal surface electrons are liberated. That liberated electron reaches to the anode plate. When reaches to the anode plate, therefore microammeter shows us some reading. It's showing reading is nothing but some electrons are reaching. Now, and there it is to be potential difference also increases because of the sufficient energy incident. Because of only sufficient energy is incident. Now come to the point. So suppose without applying this anode potential or without applying this battery, current is increased. Suppose if I applied a anode potential, we can call anode potential, because it is connected to the anode, no? When there is anode potential is increases, there it is to be positive increases, here it is to be electrons is increases. Therefore more number electrons are liberated from the cathode because of the anode potential. So that the electrons are reaches to the anode, that means when reaches to the anode, there it is to be current is increases. That shows in the microammeter. Increasing current is nothing but a what? We can say there it is to be current is reaches to the maximum. Reaching maximum is nothing but we can call saturation, because of the anode potential is applied. Once reaches to maximum, that we can call saturation. That is we can call as the saturation current, because of the anode potential is applied. Now come to the point is, now I want to see when there is a opposite terminals are applied. That means you change these terminals negative and positive. That is nothing but this is become a negative. This has become a positive. Of course, if it is positive, this electron will come towards, and this positive, no, positive is nothing but no electron will reach us to the anode. Even though the fast moving electron is liberated from the cathode also, that is failed to reach the anode, because it is now it is negatively charged, no. So negative will not be reached. So that we can call stopping potential. Stopping potential it is. That's what we can call it is EV0. And of course, it is moving with the kinetic energy. With electron is moving towards a negative potential. So that K is equal to EV0. Or we can say kinetic energy, no? K is equal to half mv square also we can. That is equal to EV0. Because the electron is moving with the kinetic energy. Even though the fast moving electron, that's what I mean to say. If the electron liberated from the shell or from the metal, if the fast moving electron also failed to reach the anode, because anode also negative, because of applied anode potential, and here the polarities are reversed. When there is a polarities are reversed, there it is to be the even though the fast moving electron failed to reach, that we can call stopping potential, EV0. Yes, it is moving with kinetic energy K. That's what minus E, because electron is minus, which is moving towards the anode plate, anode is minus. So K is equal to EV0, or kinetic energy we can also write, it is half mv square. We can say work done is equal to EV0 also, or we can say half mv square also. This is related to the stopping potential, and as well as it is also related to saturation current. So this all related to what? It is Lenard experiment. Lenard experiment related to the photoelectric effect, because when there is a sufficient energy incident, therefore electrons are liberated. The liberated electron reaches to anode plate. Of course, anode potential is increases gradually, or it is we can say A potential is increases because of electrons are reaching, and that shows a current in the microammeter. When there is a potential is applied, again electrons are increases, the current is increases, increasing current is nothing but a saturation. And if there is a polarities are reversed in the anode, therefore we can say stopping potential, because the electrons are fail to reach the anode plate. Electrons are reaches, or it is fail to reach the anode plate, because it is also negative, that we can call stopping potential. This is we can call stopping potential, and it is an experiment related to Lenard's and on the basis of photoelectric effect. So this is you go through the materials and you read from materials, because stopping potential and saturation currents are very important, and I will continue in the next class. On the basis of this we have other statements also, so better I will continue in the next class. Thank you very much.